for watching SLC TV, Salt Lake City's Government Access Channel. I'm at Fairmont Park, where there have been lots of improvements to address flooding and corrosion. One in particular is the restoration of the Fairmont Park Pond. And this pond will actually be open to the public next spring as a fishing pond. For this week's episode of Capital City News, we'll hear from Troy Baker with the Parks and Public Lands Division about how some unwanted clay saved the city thousands of dollars. And our History Minute is about the haunted tales of the McCune Mansion. Let's get started with our legislative update and look back.
Creative and beautiful design, Salt Lake City's diverse arts, culture, business scene is brought to life and cements the capital city as one of the most vibrant and dynamic places to live. Now therefore I, Jacqueline M. Biskupski, Mayor of Salt Lake City, do hereby proclaim October 16th through the 20th of 2017 as Salt Lake Design Week.
What I love is really an awareness and appreciation for design in all forms. And just recognizing that it's really a part of everything, that design has a purpose, and it's not just art and it's not science, but it's how it comes together to create something purposeful and effective.
And the goal of Climate Week is to support events and conversations around climate change issues and solutions for Utah.
Salt Lake City is committed to renewable energy for a variety of reasons: enhanced resiliency, improved public health, reduced damage to our natural environment, and of course to do our part to mitigate climate change. With every solar project, EV station, and efficiency effort we complete as a city, we move closer to our goals and more in line with our aim to responsibly power our homes, businesses, and of course, government facilities like fire stations.
National Coming Out Day is about celebrating the power of the individual, the power each of us has to make our local communities and the world a safer and more welcoming place.
The most important day is the day you wake up that day and that morning. What are you going to do that day? How are you going to treat people? How are you going to show up for the people that are most important in your life? And where do you find joy?
I hope he'll look at people and just try to learn what they are and how they live and understand the need to try to make them happy just as we try to make ourselves happy.
For this week's interview, one business's unwanted material becomes another business's treasure. This is true for Salt Lake City. Troy Baker, Parks and Maintenance Manager, tells us more.
Right now we're at Fairmont Park, and we've teamed up with the Division of Wildlife Resources to do a fishery, an urban fishery, with some grant money from the Division of Wildlife Resources. So we were approached last year from the Division of Wildlife Resources. They wanted to start looking into doing some urban fisheries in Salt Lake City. So we worked with them, visited some sites, Liberty Park, Fairmont Park. They came to the consensus that this was a great facility to try that with. they had to apply for some grant money. They were awarded that grant money. Salt Lake City put in for a CIP application to do some pond restoration work on the outside of the pond, so these two projects kind of fell into place. The contractor working on the excavation of the old Shopco building on 1300 East drove by one day and seen the Division of Wildlife Resources doing their excavation, and stopped and just talked to him and asked what they were doing as far as their project, and asked if he was interested in some clay. They had found a huge band of clay up in their excavation site up on 1300 East. The Division of Wildlife Resources went over, took some samples, sent it to a lab to make sure the compaction and everything was correct, and was given to the DWR, and we helped facilitate trucks to haul it to this location from there. The original plan had a material liner. They assumed it was around $45,000 to $50,000 for that liner. So by getting this, was able to save that out of the project. Material liner is supposedly to last 10 to 15 years, where a clay liner like this, a foot deep all the way around this, could last a century. So the original depth of the pond was 2 to 3 feet max, all the way across. There was no liner. And when the Division of Wildlife Resources came in and dug it down, they dug it to 13 to 14 feet deep in the middle. Then we brought a 12-inch layer of the clay back in to cover the whole pond. And then, as you can see behind me and around, there are some islands, some riprap for the fish and wildlife to surround themselves with. We'll have a nice boardwalk around a portion of it. We'll have some rock edges with some plants on the inside. We'll have some crushed stone around a lot of the edges, to where people can come up to the edge of the pond and be able to sit and fish out of here. For residents who'd like to know more about this project and other projects going on in Salt Lake City parks, they can visit us at www.slcparks.com.
And now, to get you in the Halloween spirit, we have a Haunted History Minute.
Alfred McCune was one of Utah's first millionaires, owing his fortune to the boom of the railroad industry. He set to build an opulent home in Salt Lake City, and by 1901, the McCune Mansion was built. Standing at the corner of 200 North and Main Street, the mansion was the home of the McCunes for almost 20 years before the LDS Church took over the property. There, they created a music school that stood for decades, teaching the children of the area music and dance. The house was well loved but in dire need of repair, and it was sold to the McCarthy family in 1999. They transformed it into a space for weddings and meetings. But the McCarthys and others have reported strange goings-on in the house and intimate it's haunted. During the renovation, an electrician claimed he saw a little girl appear in a mirror and vanish. The electrician never came back. One of the McCarthy children claimed to have been alone in the mansion when a calm, non-threatening man in a black cape appeared, watched him, and then vanished. Others have reported odd footsteps and other sightings of the little girl, and others had reported furniture that had been rearranged. When no one is in the building, it's said that piano music, left over from the school, can be heard playing from the inside. Whether it's truly haunted or imagination's got the better of people, the McCune Mansion is one of the most beautiful relics of Old Salt Lake still standing.
That's it for another episode of Capital City News. Thanks for joining us. There are a lot of events happening in the fall, so please tune in next time to get up to date. For SLC TV, I'm Poonam Kumar, signing off from the beautiful Fairmont Park.